All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone who's joining us, depending on what part of the world you are in. It's a pleasure to have you on another edition of Ask the Candidates, which is organized by the Cross River Movement. So Ask the Candidate is an interactive session with Cross River State candidates who are vying for various elective positions. We started this series with interactive sessions with gubernatorial candidates, and we're currently having interactive sessions with candidates vying for the position of Senate across the three senatorial districts in Cross River State. So it is an opportunity for Cross Riverians to engage with and put questions directly to candidates. And this session, that's what this session is about. So this event is brought to you by the Cross River Movement, which is a non-partisan, not-for-profit organization. What we're simply doing is looking to improve the quality of governance in Cross River State. And one of the ways that we're looking to achieve this is by bringing the politicians closer to the people of Cross River State. So this event is, as I said, organized by the Cross River Movement in partnership with the Africa Leadership Group, the Calabar Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines, and Agriculture, the Cross River Economic Summit Organization, and Etim. And just to remind listeners, this live radio feed of this interactive session is being brought to you on Hit FM 95.9. So if you're in Cross River State, you can tune in and listen to that on the radio. All right, so I'm going to go by a few housekeeping rules before introducing the candidates. So for those who are on the Zoom conversation, you might have observed that the chat functionality has been disabled. You have the opportunity to put questions directly at the candidate, and the link to the page where you can do that is going to be shared in the chat. And if you're following us on radio, you can go search for us on Facebook, Cross River Movement. You can search for us also on YouTube, Cross River Movement, and the link to the page where you can ask your questions will also be shared on those feeds. All right, so radio listeners, if you would like to ask a question, you can do it by text or by WhatsApp to the number 0909-594-2401. So I'll repeat that number. It's 0909-594-2401. So you can text or WhatsApp your questions to that number. Please don't call the number because nobody will answer the phone. All right, so we will dedicate time also during this interactive session to people who are on the Zoom conversation to ask questions. I would like you to put your video on before you actually do ask a question. And when it comes to asking questions, please keep them brief. If you can limit your question to 30 seconds, so it gives the candidates the opportunity to respond to your questions. And the candidates are also encouraged to keep their answers direct and straight to the point, as straight to the point as possible. Also, during the course of this interactive session, we might be running a few short polls. So we might just be asking a couple of questions. If you, it might just pop up on your screen. So just, answer the question and then, that should be it. All right. So just to mention today, so we reached out to candidates from across the various political parties, and we reached out to the candidate for the APC, Right Honorable Etim Jones, and we reached out to the candidate for the PDP, Honorable Bassey Ewa of the PDP, the Labour Party, Mr. Patrick Okomiso, and Dr. Samuel Eno of the New Nigeria People's Party. So it's join me in welcoming. I'm not sure how many of the candidates are here. I think we've got at least 2, and I believe others should also join us. Okay, so having got the housekeeping out of the way, I think I will. The first thing we would like to do is to know who these candidates are. So we have Dr. Samuel Eno, and I believe we have Mr. Patrick Okomeso. So what I would do is I will ask Dr. Samuel Eno, who is of the New Nigeria People's Party, to introduce himself to us. So you can just within 5 minutes introduce yourself to us so that we know who you are.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's a pleasure to have me here on this.
Hello, Dr. Samuel Eno.
Hello?
Yeah, Dr. Samuel Eno, we can hear you. Please go on.
Yes, it's a lot of.
It appears that you have two devices on at the same time, so there's some interference there, but carry on. I think we can hear you.
Candidate for the NNPP. I am. Hello?
Yeah, please go on. We can hear you.
Okay, very good, very good. My name is Dr. Samino, the candidate for NNPP. I came into this this cadre of life, that's a political life, about 6 months ago. I haven't prepared myself for a long time, since 2010, to enter the Senate. I was born on 6 October 1959 and school at Community Secondary School, Lugep, and the University of Calabar for my first degree, University of Liverpool for my MSc, and then the PhD in United States for Jones University. I've worked in very many places. In the radio, I worked with the radio before, and then I went on to work with Federal Civil Service, rising up to the position of a director. During my career, I served in Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Petroleum Resources, and retired as a Director, Planning, Research, and Statistics, and the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. During that period, I've been able to link up with so many people around the world, so many organizations, NGOs, and then donor agencies, because my work principally has always been working with donor agencies, working with multilateral and bilateral organizations, right from the time I was the Minister of Defense up to the Niger Delta Ministry. So within that period, I have built bridges, I have set up platforms, I have set up NGOs, organizations that are working together with me, which for some of the things I want to deliver. I have been in the Ministry of Defense, and I represented Nigeria on several occasions at the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, in the fourth and the first committees on arms, and I became a country expert on small arms and light weapons. I was at the time even the secretary of the anti-personnel landmines, and we've been able to remove landmines in the southeast of Nigeria arising from the last civil war. While at the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, we were able to set up the National Council on Hydrocarbons. And this National Council on Hydrocarbons had made it possible for me to have relationship with so many international organizations. And then going to Ministry of Water Resources, I was able to build on this relationship I've already established with these organizations that took me now to Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. At the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, I became the Director's Planning, Research, and Statistics. And I was responsible for the strategic implementation work plan. That is a compact between the Niger Delta people and the government on how to coordinate projects. I was in charge. And then also, I was in charge of what we call the Niger Delta Compact. So within the period I work in the civil service, I have principally been working with agencies all over the world. And then before I retired, I had to set up my own agency that I call Rural Development Initiative. This Rural Development Initiative is an initiative that is to help to alleviate poverty in all the rural areas through agriculture. And I have done it, I've been doing it to the extent that all the organizations that are very, very close to me that I've been working with, we have set up standards, we have set up platforms and set up groups that will make it very, very easy for me if I go to the Senate to leverage on them and deliver. And so all my service years, for 35 years, I have been in the service trying to work one place or the other, and principally working on rural development. I've been a rural development expert all my service in the civil service. And this is what has gingered me or given me the spirit of going to the Senate to see if I can use what I know to provide a good representation in the Senate. And so I retired in 2019, and then I was immediately taken in by the Minister of Science and Tech as a consultant and a resource person on one of the biggest methanol fuel production projects in Africa. The Minister of Science and Tech took me in to provide a goal execution plan and the implementation strategy. So that's what I've been doing. And because I've been doing this, I have a relationship with so many international organizations in China, in Kazakhstan, in Norway, in Switzerland, in Sweden, all of them, which are been very, very excited about my coming into politics, because they know that now I have a good platform that I can use to deliver what I've been talking when I was a civil servant. So principally, to cut it very, very short, that is what I've been doing.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Samuel Eno. I would now invite the candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Patrick Okomeso. So if you can please unmute yourself and please take the stage and introduce yourself to us. Let's get to know you a bit better.
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening. We can hear you.
Okay. My name is Patrick Okomeso. I'm from Uko, Yaka, local government area of Cross River State, a businessman. I don't need to introduce myself more. Every person knows me. But I want to ask a question before we go on. Where are the other contestants?
Well, that's a very good question that you've raised. We're expecting the candidates. We're certainly expecting the candidate for the PDP. We reached out also to the candidates for the All Progressive Congress. We've seen, since we began to host this series, actually, we've noticed a pattern with the APC where they seem not to make themselves available for interaction with.
Okay, Bassey, let's not take people's time.
Yeah, sure.
I won't want to take a debate without the two honorables. The two honorables, I mean the APC, the PDP, the Labour Party, my brother and friend, Sam, who is already there. I want us to we are talking about the development of the state and the entire senatorial district, the senatorial district and the entire state, and by implication, Nigeria as a whole, where we should be discussing issues, where we should be able to say, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm not going to do. We won't be doing it without the presence of the rest. I would prefer you get me back if the rest come. I won't debate alone with Sammy. We are talking about the thing that the whole world will be wearing. Sammy, my good brother, my good friend, I think some few days ago we were supposed to meet, but we couldn't meet due to pressure of our campaigns. So get everybody together and let us have a debate. Not that people will be at home listening to us and will use what we say for their campaigns. Let them be here. Let the world hear them. Thank you.
Okay, so just a point of correction that this is not a debate. This is an interactive session. So it's just an opportunity for the people of Cross River State to put questions to you and to get to know you better. Like I said, we can reach out to as many candidates as we want to. We don't have any means of forcing candidates to come on interactive sessions. If, like I said, I think the Honorable Bassey, we expect him to join us on this. yourself and Dr. Samuel
yes.
Yeah, have deemed it fit to come out and make yourselves available to the people of Cross River State, and I think that's a good thing. So, with your permission, would like to, carry on and let the people of Cross River State put their questions to you. It's not a debate. So, if you can tell us about yourself, sir.
The interruption and debate, the difference is depends upon the way you look at its English definition. We want to sell ourselves to the candidate. And the election is not only me and Sam Eno, my brother, like I keep saying. Honorable Basewa, you people should have a means of making him to be available and have a tongue to be available so that the world, the nation, the Central Senatorial District will listen to all of us together. I recently was in Arise Television and the same issue arose. And I said, listen, if we must all have to have an interaction session with the people, we should be complete. We shouldn't do it too. I won't do it today and tomorrow you have it with the other two. I won't do that. I want when everybody is complete. We have it. It's about selling ourselves. Is that not the truth? So why would the rest avoid when the two of us are around? Let everybody be around and you get us. We go on.
Okay, so, sir, the people of Cross River State are listening on HFM. Don't you think that this would avail them the opportunity to get to know you better? Why would you not want to go ahead simply because one other candidate or two other candidates are not here? There's nothing that can force them to be here. That's the point that I'm making.
I agree with you. The Nigerian Television Authority in Calabar has the same problem. They invited me. I was in Calabar. I came into Calabar for the meeting. The rest people did show. I said I was not going to do it. Because, look, I have my manifesto. You can look at it here. And I don't want to say things when they are not here. I want them to respond to what we say and what they say. So that makes it balanced. The people of Cross River State cannot listen to me alone and Sammy.
Okay, I think that is a choice for the people of Cross River State, sir. So if you wish not to participate, we can't force you to, but we would love you to be here. But if you feel that you do not wish to, then there's nothing we can do to force you.
Bassey, let me tell you something, Bassey. I joined because when Mrs. Ekpenyong, I didn't know her, she never knew me. She sent me a message on Facebook and I replied. She said, please, I want to have your number. I replied, I gave her my number. She called me, we spoke. And I said, who is behind it? He said, yes, Bassey. I said, okay. I know you. I knew you before now. So I know your integrity. I know who you are. I'm obliged to keep my time. In fact, I'm supposed to be watching my football. But I said, no, because you are involved, I was going to come. And I am so happy Sam is here. But let it be the fact that the Cross River State people will listen to us. You don't. You are.
Okay, I think Dr. Sam, I think you want to make a comment.
You know the life in the lies in politics.
Can you hear me?
You know the deceit in politics.
Yes,
so when we are all complete, is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much, my brother Patrick Okomeso, my very good friend. But I have
what are the rest avoiding?
As well as much as I believe what Patrick Okomeso is saying, that others ought to be here. Etim Jones is supposed to be here. Bassey was supposed to be here. If they are not here, well, that is their problem. I am here to sell myself to the people of Cross River State. Exactly. And even if I'm alone, I'm going to talk. I'm going to say what I want to say, because we are campaigning differently. This is a veritable platform for us to campaign. And I have to take this opportunity. I cannot, because two candidates are not here, then I will go home. And if you permit me, I will go on to tell you what I have for the people of Central Senatorial District. Okay. I know Patrick Okomeso is a man of, he has his own principle. He does not want to be here. It's fine. But for me, I would rather take the whole minutes of the whole participants to express myself and say what I can say. So instead of having maybe 10 minutes, I'm going to have 40 minutes. So I'm ready to tell you what I'm going to do. I will say it all the way it is. I only crave your indulgence. The indulgence I will crave is that once in a while, allow me to look at my statistics. I don't want to give wrong statistics and then ask people to go and verify. So allow me once in a while to look at my statistics, because I'm not a statistician, I'm not a mathematician. So the statistics I have to refer to them. That's why I have all my papers around me here. So if you don't mind, I will go on to tell the people of Central Senatorial District what I have for them.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We really do appreciate that. There are a lot of questions that are coming in on our Slack webpage. So I will begin to put those questions across, and so yeah, so just feel free if Honorable Patrick Okomeso would really love for him to also participate, but like we said, we cannot force anybody to do so.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so there's a question that has come in. There's a question that has come in from someone saying that the district is so rich, yet it does not reflect in the quality of the lives of the people. So the person is asking, why is this so, and what's the problem really, I think, with the Central Senatorial District? What
okay, Bassey, let me answer that question straight.
I think that is my turn to answer, isn't it?
Bassey, let me give you that answer straight. The problem we have is that we have not have elected leaders who are committed to the people. Every person who has come into politics from 1999 till date, except myself and Sameno, are being imposed on the people. And
okay,
hello.
Yeah, you froze
now,
for a few seconds, so please carry on.
Yes. Yeah, now every person we had from 1999 to date has been in position. I will tell you something. In 1998, there was an election that brought in the Donald Duke and that group. After that, what they do in Cross River State is what is called carry go. They just bring you and say, this is the candidate, carry go. They call it political family. So by so doing, those they brought in were not ready for what they were going for. So that is why the Central, with all we have, had never been developed.
Okay, all right, thank you.
There are two things. There are two things, Bassey. Give me a minute. When you are prepared to do a job, and when you are not prepared to do a job, the job is given to you, you will never do well. But when you are prepared to do a job and the job is given to you, you will do well.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Over to Dr. Samuel Eno, please. So I think the question that this person is asking is, what do you identify as the major challenges to the people of the Central Senatorial District?
Okay. Well, I do not want to look to focus on what has not been. I rather like to focus on what should be, what we should do. Like Patrick has said, we have had a lot of people who were square pegs in round holes for some time, a kind of imposition. But this is the time to put round pegs in round holes. And I am one of those round pegs in a round hole. I will tell you something. Cross River Central is extremely very, very rich. And when I set up in 2016, when I set up the Rural Development Initiative, it was meant to look at our areas of strength. What is our area of strength in the Central Senatorial District? What is it that will change the situation, will change the conversation, will change the lives of people in the Central Senatorial District? And because I've been working with a lot of organizations outside Nigeria, I came up with something I call cassava, our oil. Cassava, our oil. I'll tell you what that means. Since the 76 oil wells were taken from Cross River State, we look like we have become an orphan, crying, not so happy that we don't have oil again, so nothing can be done. Whereas we have something that is much more better, that can earn us more than oil, and I identified it as the cassava. I'll give you a little history. Nigeria produces 59.9 million metric tons of cassava. And that alone has the potential of bringing $2.8 billion annually to Nigeria. And when you go to look at the countries, the states that produce cassava in Nigeria, Cross River State is number 2. All the way from Calabar up to Budu, we have cassava. But what have we done with the cassava? Nothing other than to produce gari. And so I came up with what I said is called cassava, our oil. We are going to leverage on our strength. Cassava is our strength. And how do I want to go about it? The cassava that we are going to commercialize is capable of giving us 50,000 jobs, creating 50,000 jobs. And this is not just people saying, I want to create jobs. You tell us how you want to create the jobs, because I know how we are going to create these jobs. So we realize that in Uganda, they are just having 4.5 million metric tons of cassava, and it's their second biggest earner in Uganda. And yet in Nigeria, we have 59. And out of that 59, Cross River State alone has about 26. We can produce 22 million metric tons. And that is bigger than the kind of money that we get, some states get from oil every year, if we leverage on cassava.
Okay.
And so,
thank you very much. I'm sure you will still have the opportunities to continue to make your point. But I think the next question I'd like to put, and because there are a lot of questions, I would appeal to the candidates to keep the questions as brief and as straight to the point as possible. There are a lot of questions that are, that are coming in. So someone is asking, in what areas do you intend to advocate for the people of the Central Senatorial District? So, and maybe since you have the floor, Dr. Eno, maybe I'll ask you to respond to that question, because, on one hand, you're talking about the potentials in cassava and all of that, but someone may say, oh, well, you're not going to be a chief executive of anything. You're going to be a legislator. So maybe you might want to explain how you would make the people benefit from the resources as a legislator.
Yes, if you had allowed me to go now, I wanted to tell you how I'm going to implement it. When I work with IFAD, that is International Funding for Agricultural Development, because that was my beat. It was my desk. I was a desk officer for that. I work with many other organizations, especially in Kazakhstan and Sweden, who are very willing to source money and give to rural areas, the whole world. And so I came into an understanding, an agreement with a company. It's not a company actually, an NGO. Is called Crossbridge. Crossbridge is a global network that helps you to access funds anywhere for your development, anywhere in the world. I have an understanding with them, and we have been working with them. So how do I want to do this? That's what I'm calling implementation strategy. It's not just to say I want to create jobs. Now, their problem has always been a government buy-in. How do we have somebody in government that will help to advance this process? Who's going to help us do it? And I find myself that as a senator, it gives me an opportunity to advance this cause. And to be honest with you, they have been helping me in terms of little funding, because they are so excited that I've come into politics to want to become a senator. So the projects are going to really take place. So legislator is making laws. But I tell you that the most important thing is when you have a project, when you have a proposal, who is going to drive it? If you do not have somebody at the helm of affairs, not just as an executive position, if you don't have somebody on the helm of affairs at the top level, you will not be able to drive this process, this project you want to undertake.
Okay. So, sorry to interrupt you, sir. Obviously, we're conscious of the fact that we've got limited time and we've got another candidate as well. So we will come back. I'm sure you will still be able to carry on making your point, but let me bring in Mr. Patrick Okomiso, please. If you can just tell us, I think the question is really asking about what the legislative agenda for the Central Senatorial District is. So if you can please let us know what yours is.
Mr. Moderator, you have to time us. If you don't time us, this will not be interesting. I expect you to tell us if it's 3 minutes. When it's 3 minutes, you off the mic and take another person. You don't need to give us an unlimited time so that it will be interesting. My legislative agenda for Central Senatorial District is very simple. First is education. Second is peace and security. For the state is Bassey. For the state and the federation is Bassey. For the development of the state is agriculture and hospitality. For development, not so many people, including the past governor of Cross River State, didn't even know that we have a reform lake in Cross River. When I was discussing with him some few days ago, he asked me where the lake was. We have a lake in Etim that can give 60,000 metric tons of fish every year. Talk about sports. We are very talented boys. I remember when we were growing, our sports were taken. Today, that has died in Cross River State, especially Central. And because that there's no more sporting activities between the youth of villages, we have so much of crisis, land crisis, killing one another. So I will take that upon, I will develop sports. I will develop the healthcare. Recently, I was in Cross River State, and I stopped at a place called Etim, and I saw how a local woman was being delivered, still doing the same thing that was done in the 40s. I was shocked. I would take health care, that every ward in Central must have a health center and well equipped. I am going for community service. I'm not going to enrich myself. And let me use this. I am the man who knows roads. I have the contact to speak to anybody. I say both home and abroad, kings, princes, and princesses, and presidents. I will develop most of the things that everybody is going to, for policies to have. I already had them. I drove tomorrow's cars today since 1993. So I am not going to equip myself. I'm not going to benefit my Lord. No, I have been there. I know what it is. So that's my legislative agenda for Central.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. So just to remind everyone, you are currently live on Ask the Candidates, organized by the Cross River Movement in partnership with the African Leadership Group, the Calabar Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines, and Agriculture, and the Cross River Economic Summit organization. If you're listening to us live on Hit FM, you can send in a question by WhatsApp or text message to the number 0909 59.
Oh, I can pick this. This is from my neck.
01. So, yes. So we'll just go on. We have a lot more questions. The next question is, how do you intend to consult with the people of the Central Senatorial District on a regular basis? So I think this question, as a lawmaker, you are effectively representing a constituency. And I think what this person is saying is, how will you make yourself available to your constituents to be, to understand what their issues are on a regular basis? So I think I will go back to Honorable Samuel. No, please, if you can just answer.
No, you gave me the last question 2 times, so it should be me.
Okay, no problem, sir. Please carry on, but if you can limit your answer, please, to 2 minutes, I'd appreciate that very much.
I will. Repeat your question. That what?
So the question that the person has asked is, how would you make yourself accessible on a regular basis to your constituents to know what they are?
Okay, I got you. I am not elected member. I am one person that everybody that has called me in Cross River State can tell you that I pick my calls. But I'm going to have in my contract with Central, which I will be releasing very soon, I have a 4th weekly meeting with the Senatorial District every 4th month, every month. Every month, I will bring all the traditional rulers the Parliament rulers together, one community to the other will be hosting the meeting. I'll be very available for them. I've been very much access to my people, even when I'm not in government, even when I'm not a member of the. If there's anything anybody can say about me, is that I don't know your telephone number. When you call me, I pick. Because I had a little experience. When I lost my friend, may his soul rest in peace, John Okpa, late Deputy Governor of Cross River State, I was given a call by a lady called Dr. Former, very late in the night. Because it was around 2, 3 a.m., I delayed to pick the call. When I picked the call, in fact, I blamed it to my wife at that time because she said, it's a woman that is calling me. I didn't even know the number. So out of anger, I got up from bed to pick the call. I said, who is this? And yet that was true, was a woman. Her name was Dr. Former. And I said, please, Dr. Former. He said, there's a man who wrote on his phone, my dearest brother, and wrote, your name is not here. He has an accident. I said, that would be Dr. Chief John Okpa. Say yes, he wrote Excellency Deputy Governor John Okpa. I say you are right. So because of that, I have never rejected any call. If you call me, I don't pick. When I come and return your call, sometimes I end up calling business center. And they say, oh, the person who wanted to speak to you has gone. But
okay.
That's
right,
my own.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you've answered that question quite rightly. So we will move over to Dr. Samuel now, please.
Well, I hope you know that you gave Okomiso more than 6 minutes to answer that question. So I hope you will not be jittery.
I'm being pulled left, right, and center. Please go ahead.
It will not be jittery it will not be jittery if I answer this question. The next one coming is to me.
I took 2 minutes. Even the moderator said so. I took 2 minutes.
Patrick is fighting me. The Patrick is fighting me, fighting my time. Well, I
can see that there's very good rapport between both.
Yeah, it's my brother. It's my brother. Yes, I've been in Abuja for almost 30 years now, 29 years precisely. And for those 29 years, there is no year I don't go to Cross River State 8-10 times a year. And this, you can go and verify. I go to my town, I go to Cross River State 2 times a month. And during this period, I carry out conversation with almost everybody, from the top to the smallest. I've been there with them. So going to the National Assembly will not change anything. It's just to roll on the way I've been doing with my friends. But most essentially, what I'm going to do better is to have town hall meetings, to have village square meetings. Village square meetings are very essential because most villages don't even have town halls. You see, so you're going to have village square meetings. And there's one project I want to do, which is called the revolving 1 million naira fund. That fund will make me go around to be around every minute to be meeting them. Let me tell you how that works. In the Central Senatorial District, we have 66 wards. We have 66 wards. And these 66 wards, if you multiply 66 by 4 years, it's going to give you 264. And I intend to create 264 millionaires in 4 years. I'm going to create 264 millionaires in 4 years, but you ask me, I'm going to do it. How are you going to do it? I'm sure some people are laughing now. Now, in each ward, for the 4 years of my tenure, in each ward, I'm going to make sure that each ward has 4 millionaires. How do I do it? And what do I need to get 264 millionaires? It's just 66 million naira.
Sorry, sir, if you don't mind, because I think that's deviating from the question. So
no. You asked me how I'm going to be meeting my people.
No, so how are you going to make yourself accessible?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you that there's a project that will make me be meeting them every time. That's the point I'm trying to tell you. There's a project I have on ground that will make me meet the people every minute, every time.
Okay,
and
so
I'm trying
tell us about that project in 1 minute, please.
The project, that's a project I call the 264 revolving 1 million naira project. 264 revolving 1 million naira project. I say I need 66 million naira to create 264 millionaires in the 66 wards in 4 years. But we don't have much time now. But it is all encapsulated in my my blueprint, how we are going to do that.
All right. Okay.
With time, some other time, I'll be able to explain to perseverance. I'm going to create 264 millionaires in 4 years in the 66 wards with 66 million naira.
Okay.
That will be coming from the constituency project funds.
Okay. I think that's fantastic. And you will have the opportunity to tell us on this session.
Yeah, sure. Right.
The question that someone has asked about the constituency project, but we will get there.
Okay.
Let me go back to.
No, you're going to me. You're going to me now. It's now. You're starting with me now. Yes. Commissioner, you're giving so much time. It's to me now. No.
I think both of you are excellent candidates, and I wish that
Patrick would tell me when there was WhatsApp messages during John Okpa, the time John Okpa died, whether they were WhatsApp messages on phone. He would tell us how he got those messages on phone that time. Patrick would tell us that later.
He did not say anything about WhatsApp, but okay, so let's move on to the next
messages now.
Let's move on to the next question. So if
okay, all right.
It's nice to find candidates very eager to take the question. So the next question is, do you feel that the 1999 Constitution is the right document to move Nigeria forward? If so, what is your reason? And if not, what is your reason?
Most Nigerians believe that the 1999 Constitution was heavily flawed. And if so many Nigerians are saying so, who am I to say it is not so? The 1999 Constitution has put so much work, so much pressure on at the center to the extent that the center has become so attractive. And we need to bring it down to states, to local government, to the extent that you don't need to be everything going to Abuja. I'll tell you what happens in Sweden and other places, like even in China. Some people in China don't know Beijing. They don't know Beijing. They don't need to go to Beijing because in their cantonments, in their what is called the local governments, everything is there. So the 1999 Constitution is heavily flawed and it needs to be restructured. If I go into the National Assembly, I will support the process of restructuring, to restructure in a way that every region will have equal opportunity. Every region will be able to control their resources.
Okay. I think you've answered the question, sir. So let me move to Mr. Patrick Okomiso. Sir, sorry, I refer to you as Mr. I hope that is appropriate. Otherwise, please correct.
Hey, call me Mr. Patrick Okomiso. Call me. You have not made a mistake.
He's a chief.
So should I call you Chief or Mr., sir?
You can call me Mr., you can call me Chief.
Okay.
What are the titles adding to my name? My name is Okomiso. You can just call me Okomiso, or alternatively call me Ekpe1. Simple as that.
Okay, sir.
In fact, call me Ekpe1. Simple as that.
All right, sir. So, yes. So, what is your opinion about the 1999?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. There is no car on earth that is perfect. There is nothing made by humans that is perfect. I'll give you something. The only perfect government we have is the government of God. The way the 1999 Constitution is, the good side of it, there is the bad side of it. Like when we talk about restructure, the president 2 days ago said governors are thieves. Let me use this language. I am quoting him. He said governors are thieves, that they have stolen all the local government money. And I believed him. I am believing him so seriously. If the money that was meant for Etim local government, or Bubura local government, they call local government, Abi local government, Etim local government, is given to them directly from as the federal government gave to the state for them, you will see that there will be development. So it is not the fault of the Constitution. It is the fault of the operators of the Constitution. When you know, look, one thing, if I go to the National Assembly, I would fight for. We should remove the word corruption from our Constitution. But we should have the word thief If your son is told in primary school that you are a thief, you won't go to school the next day that your father is a thief. But the word corruption has no meaning. Even the 10 commandments of God said, thou shalt not steal. Stealing is thou shalt not thief. But in Nigeria, we breed thieveries. There's nothing wrong. Okay, we just heard from the president. Are you blaming the president or the constitution now? That some billions of naira were given to state governors. And none of the state governor has told his state, except Wike, may God bless him, who said, people will ask, how am I getting this money? He said, this is where the money is coming from. So what we...
Okay, I think the Chief of Commerce is frozen. I can move on to the next question while we sort out his connection. Dr. Eno, I believe you can hear me. There's another question here, which is that Nigerian senators are the highest.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Okay, so Nigerian senators are the highest paid legislators in the world. How does this make you feel as someone who is vying to become a senator? Sorry, you are muted, so just give us a moment to sort that out. Okay, please go ahead.
Well, I don't know how much a senator earns. I don't know how much he earns. Honestly, I've been hearing that. I don't know, to be honest, I don't know how much he earns. But I'll tell you something I have seen. Just these few months I've been in politics. These few months I've been in politics, I have received thousands and thousands of financial requests from people. Somebody has a motorcycle accident, his wife is not well, he has malaria, the auntie is giving birth to a child, there's a wedding. There are so many requests. In fact, this request, I can tell you quite frankly that you spend sometimes more than 1 million naira a month to satisfy people's requests as a candidate. So I don't know what happens when you become a senator. I was telling my wife 2 days ago, because from 6 a.m. in the morning to 9 o'clock, I had requests for 210,000 naira. And some of them are asking you for 5,000. Some are asking you for 15,000. And the person who asks you for 5,000 naira doesn't believe that you can't give it to him. But he doesn't know that more than 50 people have asked you for 5,000 naira. So the requests are so many. Somebody has sent me a request that his car had broken down since 2016. He wants to buy an engine for 280,000 because he's supporting me. So how much will a senator receive that he can meet the aspirations and the demands of all these people? That's why I say, I don't know how much a senator receives. Honestly, I don't know. But if what I am seeing as a candidate is anything to go by, I would definitely tell you that nothing is too much to pay a senator in Nigeria. But let me tell you something. There are some certain things that I will not do. For instance, I'm a retired guy. I receive my pension. If I go to the Senate, I won't receive my pension again. I will jettison the pension I'm receiving as a director and concentrate on what I'm doing. That I can do. I can also assure you that the constituency projects will be effectively utilized. But how much they are paid, honestly, I don't know. But they need to be paid well in order to meet the demands of supporters.
Okay. So I think you've answered that question well, and I think it throws up what I would describe as a problem with our society, right? Which is, like you rightly said, the demands that are placed on elected and appointed officials. I would like to hear your opinion, because clearly that is not how it should be. How do you think we can go about reconstructing our society in such a way that the legislator can just earn a modest salary, go and make laws, and come back home in peace? So exactly, I know that Chief of Commissar will be fuming at me now. I will give him adequate time.
No mind Patrick. Don't mind him.
Please go on. And if you can answer this, please, in 2 minutes.
Yes, I'll do that. There need to be a comprehensive and deliberate voter and supporter education. they need to be educated. They need to know. But all these things is an outcome of poverty, hunger. That is why 2,000 naira means a lot to people. We need to make the people have some monies in their pocket. We need to we politicians need to live a modest life. You go into the Senate, the next time you are driving a G-Wagon while you were driving a 504. In 6 months' time, you are driving a G-Wagon. What do you think the people should do? You are building a wonderful big mansion. So the immodesty of politicians has been largely responsible for the demands, unnecessary demands by supporters. If we must educate the voters, the supporters, we ourselves should educate ourselves to know that we have to live modestly. If not, so it will continue.
All right, Dr. Eno, thank you very much. I will invite Chief Okomiso now, please. Go ahead, sir. If you can tell us, how do you feel? It's the same question. How do you feel about the fact that the Nigerian senators are the highest paid legislators in the world, as someone who is vying to go into the Senate?
Bassey, I said something to you some few minutes ago, and I heard some just spoke about it, about people are sending him to give him 5,000, 2,000, this, that, and that he's just a candidate, he's not won the election, and he doesn't know what the senators are going for. Bassey, I don't go on Christmas. I am Christmas myself.
Explain, sir.
I'm good. I know you are listening to me. I don't go on Christmas. I'm Christmas myself. I told you here that when they go on politics, they want to drive G-Wagon. I have been driving G-Wagon since 1986. 1996. Sorry. I've been driving a G-Wagon. I drive with a G50, a G55. We are the social welfare of our people. That's how our culture implies. Look, I want to give you an example. I never joined any political party last year. But last year, I got up from my place, my village, where I come from, Munko, the land of the rising sun. They see me as their own and they know me as their own. So I interact with them. Every year, I go to bless one person, do this for this, do this for this. Last year, I drove myself to a place in Boki. It's Sobendege or something like that. I don't know I don't know anybody. I drove there. I parked in their market square. I had 100 rappers for women. I was not thinking about politics. I was not thinking about anything. And I gathered their women. People were coming to see what is happening. Who is this? And I gave each one of them a rapper. I drove from there to my village, slept. The next morning, I went to Abi. I went to a place called Adarama. I didn't call anybody. I didn't call nobody. I drove myself there, got to their playground. I saw a woman. I said, call other women for me. We are the blessing of our people. We can't run away from that. That is our culture. Our culture is that you are cooking food in your house and you don't have salt. You go to your next door neighbor, say, give me salt, and he gives you. We can't take that away from our people. We should care for them. The other question you asked, the salary of a legislature. See, if we make our National Assembly a part-time, we won't have this problem. Well, most politicians does not have a second address. When a young man grows up, the first thing he thinks about is politics. I'm a businessman. The house you talked about when they go, they build house. No, I built a house of millions before I was 40. I think I have one of the best houses in Cross River State. I built that house before I was 40. I am not going to the National Assembly because of what I want to have. Bassey, I can't build more houses than the one I have. In fact, I will give you one bad story. Some few months ago, we had a meeting in Etim, so I went. Then it was APC meeting. And I got to my house in the night. I sat there and put on generation. The gen said they did. Bassey, there were over 110 bulbs there. I was in the middle of the house. I was finding myself, why did I build this kind of house here? What am I thinking about? There was no store that can give me 110 bulbs in Coke. That is the truth of life. So what we should rather do is the ability to see how do we develop the villages for people to end up life. I'll tell you something. Today, people can end life from villages because telephones are working. You are talking to me, you are in Calabar, I'm in talking. So it's the education for our people. We don't need people to travel. I heard somebody was traveling to Calabar in New York yesterday, and the kidnappers kidnapped him, shot to his vehicle. So those are issues that we can tackle. So that if there are constitutional projects, it should be what will impact to the people, and it shouldn't be the senator or the member that will give it. That it should be the government, but the senator or the House of Member should monitor it and say that it's done to letter Z.
All right. Let me ask you a question, sir. And I think this is a follow-up from what you said about it being our culture to be generous. Yes, we do appreciate that. But don't you think that it is better for everyone's standard of living to rise to the extent that you don't need to bother someone to pay your mother's health bill, so people can become more independent? Don't you think that is where we should be going, even though, yes, we have the culture of generosity?
That's why I said what we need is education. I just mentioned about a lake. You may be surprised to know that there's a lake in Abi local government. I don't know if you knew that before now. Nobody ever talks about it. If that lake is developed, at least 4,000 people will be employed. There is a Kori Beach. If a Kori Beach or Aptapum Beach or Rububra Beach is developed, another 3,000 people are taken out of the street. Let us develop our villages so that men and women can earn money from the villages.
Okay.
But that should not stop us from being our brother's keepers.
Okay, sir. Point noted. So just to mention to everyone on the Zoom conversation that you will have the opportunity to put a question, your questions directly. So if you have a question you'd like to ask the candidates, please just use the reactions icon there to indicate, and we'll give you the opportunity to do so. We'll prefer if you have your video on. So yes, if you have a question, please just indicate, and we'll try and get to you. Okay, so there's another question on constituency projects, and I know that Dr. Eno was quite keen to speak about his constituency project. So I think I will go back to him and then come back to you, Chief.
Let him take 2 minutes, though.
All right. Dr. Eno, please, you can speak about your constituency projects, what plans you have for constituency projects, and if you can do that in...
No, it's not something that we should hurry. Let me tell you something, why we shouldn't hurry. As a director in water resources, a director in Niger Delta, and director in petroleum resources, I was largely responsible for medium-term expenditure framework. I was largely responsible for preparation of budgets and defend them in the National Assembly. And I see how constituency projects are hacked, what is done to them. 66 wards in the Central Senatorial District, and you give them 200 million naira a year as constituency project, amounts to nothing. Amounts to nothing. So people have this misguided idea about constituency project funds. But I will tell you something. A lot of people believe that these constituency project funds are misappropriated, and you cannot doubt them. You can't doubt it because they don't see what is done in their constituencies. But I have a plan. And that's the plan I wanted to tell you about, which if you give me time, I would like you to listen very attentively. I hear that they give 200 million naira as constituency project to, that's what I hear. Because I'm not going to the National Assembly because of money. As a civil servant, I was very comfortable, and I'm still very, very comfortable. I don't pay school fees. I have all my 4 children who have graduated. They live abroad, some of them. That in fact, my children they are sponsoring my election. They give me money for this election. I don't have a problem. When I come to Ugep, where I come from, every Christmas, every New Year festival in Ugep, my house is a beehive of activities. The whole Ugep people, they come to my house. The whole couple, they come to my house and they enjoy what I have. So I'm not even going to the National Assembly to make money. I already made some money. So that's not the big issue, because I'm not here to tell what we have done, what we have, and all those things. Nobody knows what each person has. So we're not coming to the global TV to say what we have and what we can do. But let me tell you, for the 200 million naira I hear that they give to constituencies, 200 million naira, I say 66 million naira. 66 million naira will be distributed to 66 local governments, not as handpacks, not as money take and go and chop. No, for each constituency, for each ward, we are going to have 4 youthful entrepreneurs who will be giving a revolving 1 million naira in 4 years. You are giving a 1 million naira. We know the kind of job you want to do, the kind of business you want to do, that will give you a turnover of another 1 million naira in 12 months. And in 12 months, that 1 million naira is taken to be given to the next person. 4 of you in 4 years, 1 million naira will have gone through 4 people. And if you multiply that with by 66 ones, you have 264. So if our guys, our girls, they are focused, and if they utilize the 1 million naira will be given to them in 4 years, in 4 years' time, which is the calendar year for my tenure, I will have created 264 millionaires in the 66 wards. And I've been saying it. Anybody who wants to doubt me should come and meet me. I will explain how that is going to be done with 66 million naira to create 264 millionaires. And I'm going to do it. I call it the 1 million naira revolving fund. You understand? There is also the WWW. I call it Women's World's Win. Women World's Win is an acronym for the WWW is an acronym for my Women World's Win. Every ward, all the 66 wards, every ward is going to be a branch of the major cooperative society for women. And how do I want to do that? Because in the National Assembly, because I have government backing, there is a global organization called the Global Donor Platform for Rural Development. Global Donor Platform for Rural Development. And the acronym is just called DP. It is a network of 38 bilateral and multilateral companies in the whole world. And what do? They believe that sustainable development or efficient development is anchored on coordinated global approach. So they give money and they work with the people they call the Trust Bridge. Trust Bridge will enable you get money anywhere in the world to fund your rural development project. It's not just to believe in the so-called constituency project. We have to work outside the box. And all my life in the civil service, all I've been doing is to create projects, to create policies, to create implementation strategies that would drive the ministry. So I know exactly what is on ground, what I have. I'm not going to depend on constituency projects. I'm going to attract finances. I'm going to attract funding from these international donor agencies, which I have been working with. I don't know how many people have heard about FOSTA or DFID. These are all the organizations I've been working with in the Niger Delta. Don't forget, I'm the author of the Strategic Implementation Work Plan. It's a document that coordinates activities and projects in the Niger Delta. I wrote it when I was in the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and Minister of Niger Delta. So I know these things. Constituency project will be transparently utilized. I will utilize, I'm not going to touch their constituency project because I've already set up a committee that will be looking at constituency project. When we have the money, the committee will be implementing the projects. It's not me. I don't have time to go and be giving jobs to be doing contracts. I have already a committee that will utilize as transparent utilization of the project of the funds.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not lacking. I'm not lacking. You want to go to the Senate. I'm not just, if you don't have money, you don't go to the Senate. So anybody in the Senate is already made. That's the simple truth about it.
Okay, all right, Dr. No, thank you very much. So please let me hand the floor to Chief Okomeso, please, if you would maybe speak about what your plans are for your constituency projects, sir.
Just
to remind everyone, please, if you have a question, indicate and we'll give you the opportunity to ask it. Please carry on, sir.
Okay. One of the projects that must be cited in Central Cross River is education. Education is an essential aspect of human development. We are going to invest on education. We are going to prepare for tomorrow by setting up today. If you don't prepare today, you can't have it tomorrow. So a development center will be put where skills will be trained for youth throughout the whole constituency. The need for peace to foster development in any society cannot be overemphasized. So I have to make sure that there is peace between one community to the other. That's my constituency. We have agriculture. The only way to make agriculture work is when there are royal roads for women to take their cassava, like I heard him spoke about cassava, which is a good thing, to take their cassava to the market. Look, let me tell you something that will surprise you. If you go to Etim on Saturday or on Friday, you will see the plantain that can feed and bananas that can feed the whole nation. But because of lack of roads, lack of transportation, you go there on Monday when they bring the thing for Friday and Saturday to sell. The one that will be left over will be more than the one that the vehicles has taken because the roads are bad. So I will make sure that the road from Etim to Boki is opened. The road from Nko to Asiga is open. The road from Obubra to Etim is open. The road from Ugep.
I think we've lost.
You would be.
Okay.
You will be surprised the amount of money you will make. You have to develop.
So we seem to be having challenges with your audio, or rather with your internet connection.
Yes, we are having internet problem with connection. EBOM in Elon, in EBOM, if you develop that EBOM, you develop Apapom, you develop Obubra, you develop Ekori and Adadama, you develop Asiga and the Tikidi beaches. You don't know how many people you have taken up out of employment. So the thing is, how far can we go? You can not only look for agencies that can develop these areas for you, not looking only at the constituency project money. I don't know how much they give. I've never asked, but I will make sure that these areas have been developed. It is not everything we have to look into government. Sometimes we have to look into community. If there's peace between community and community, you will get everybody to do projects that will be beneficial to all of them. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the next question that I would, and this is coming from me. So if either of you win, you are, and this is not any, no disrespect to any gubernatorial candidates from any parties, but most people you talk to would say the favorites to win the governorship in Cross River State, PDP and APC. So if you are a legislator, say for the Labour Party and the New Nigeria People's Party, how would you work with whoever is governor to make sure that Cross River State, does move forward?
Okay, let me answer that question straightforward.
Yes.
We all know ourselves in Cross River State. We all. We know those who have capability and those who doesn't have capabilities. We know those who are self-made and those who are government-made. As a senator representing Cross River, I will not be an enemy to any governor. Because the governor has not come there on his own, has come there by the people of Cross River State. And he's a slave of Cross Riverians, not their master. He is their messenger. I will work with him in any area, anybody who becomes a governor that he needs my assistance. And I will work with him in any area I need his assistance in my constituency. Thank God we all know ourselves. We all belong to the same club. We all belong to the same group. Whether of Labour Party or APC or NNPP or PDP, we all belong to the same group. We are all children of Cross River. So I am not particularly against anybody who wins, but I won't tell you who I'm going to vote for. Anybody who wins, I will work with him.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So I think the same question goes to Dr. Samuel Eno, please.
Well, we're all partisan, but our partisanship has a limit. As a senator, the moment you become a senator, you're representing Nigeria now. You're no more representing only Central or Cross River State, but the whole Nigeria. And it's a simple thing. Why will I fight my government in power, the government that is here? I will work with any person that becomes the governor of Cross River State on the conditions that he's going to do the right thing. It's not because that I cannot fight him. I'm not going to fight him. But if he does things that are not good enough for the people of Cross River State, definitely I cannot go all the hog with him simply because I have to do that. But I will work with him. I will create an environment for us to work together. I will support him in everything. But if he goes outside that and does things that are not for the interest of the people, I will not support him. Thank you.
All right, thanks. I think I would maybe say follow-up question to that. If you were to advise, we know that the governor is the chief executive of the state, and that 4 million Cross Riverians, in a way, their destinies are tied to the quality of governance that we have in the state. So the question I would like to ask you is, if you had the opportunity to advise the next governor of Cross River State, what would your sincere advice to him be? I'm not aware of a woman, there's no female candidate, so to him, what would it be?
It's simple. Cross Riverians should, like Patrick said, we all know them. We know them now. We know ourselves. We know the antecedents. We know their track records. We know those who are liars. We know those who are pompous. We know those who are obedient. We know those of them who are very reachable, very approachable, very accessible. We know those who can listen.
When you say obedience, are you referring
No,
to?
no, I'm not on labor. Forget that. Obedient is an English word. It's an English word. It's not. It has nothing to do with obedient. I beg. So what I'm saying is that I will advise Cross Riverians to look where before they lead. They know all the candidates. They know them. This election is not going to be about the party. So if you are fixated on I am PDP, I'm in APC, I'm in Labour and NNPP, you are wrong. Vote for the person you think can deliver. We know the candidates. We know them. Vote for the ones that will bring that will bring something for Cross River State. Vote for the person that you think can take us to the next level. Let me tell you, I was a member of the task force on science and tech on the establishment of methanol plants in the 6 geopolitical zones. I was a member. And I'm in the task force as a secretary. I'm just talking about 2019. Do you know what happened? They are to set up 6 methanol projects in 6 political zones, the 6 geopolitical zones. And they changed the minister. They asked me, can you meet your governor so that we can visit Cross River State? Yayade was the governor. We can visit Cross River State so that we can see if we can put one of these methanol projects in Cross River State. I sent Ayade a text message. I'm sorry that the text message had been deleted. He didn't respond. He didn't respond to my text message. One of the members of the task force wrote to their state government, called their state government by phone, Delta State. The next week, the state governor came to Science and Tech with about 14 experts to look at how they are going to bring the methanol plant into Delta State. You can see the difference. My text message was not even responded to. But the governor, Okoa, just came straight to Abuja to discuss with the minister. These are the kind of people we need as governors. The people who will listen. The people that will not think they know all and all, they know everything. So we know all the candidates. So Cross Riverians, I'm advising you, whether in PDP or in APC or Labour or NNPP, vote for that governor that you think can listen to us, that can work with us, that can deliver the dividends of democracy to us. Don't just vote because it is your party. Because some party people Igam party are not good enough.
Who, in your opinion, is that candidate?
No. You can't ask me that.
Okay,
Yet.
no problem. No problem.
I cannot do that. You want me to sell him? Yeah.
No problem.
If they come and meet me, they DM me, I'll tell them the person.
Okay. All right. Chief Okomeso, please, if you could please respond to that question.
What was the question?
The question was about if you could advise the next governor of Cross River State, what advice would you give them?
The advice I would give them is that let them take the state first before themselves. Let them have the love for Cross Riverians before themselves. It shouldn't be about himself, governor, the wife, the sister, the mother, the girlfriend. We have seen where governors, girlfriends now arrest people and detain. We have seen what is happening in all the country, in the whole country. So let's have a governor that will be people's friendly, that will be people oriented, so that if at any time, whether I'm in government or no government or not in government, if I send a text or I put a call, I should be heard. And if there's anything that is going wrong with you, I want to give you one example. I remember that I was in Washington, D.C. some years ago when the boundary adjustment committee came to Cross River State. They wanted to have access to the governor. After 7 days, they never had access. And we all know what the result is. We don't need analog governor. We don't need a digital governor. We need a governor who has the people and the people who have him. That I will always advise any governor on the right path. I will not pinpoint at this. And I am not here to criticize, but I'm here to say the truth and what nothing but the truth. We have been very unfortunate in governance. Let us not repeat itself. Let us take Cross River State to the promised land. If we make a mistake, Cross River State will die, finally. That's my take.
Okay, all right, sir. I think I would put one final question across to both of you, and of course
I am ready.
Okay, we know that Cross River State lost, I think it was 76 oil wells to Akwa Ibom State, and due to the ceding of Bassey to Cameroon. Is that something that, as a senator, you think that is it a closed matter, or is it something that?
Okay, Bassey, just listen to me. Just listen. As a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will ensure that the illegality and the injustice of the unlawful secession of Bassey to Cameroon is reversed.
How will you do
compensation that? Is gotten from those who have suffered loss and injury in various capacities. It is credible to know that to date, the substitution of Bassey has not been rectified by the National Assembly. As a member of the Red Chambers, I will ensure that I work towards addressing the anomaly. It is simple. The people we have there, look, the thing about it is that, let me be very blunt to you, is the caliber of people we have in the Senate. Okay, there are about 19 presidential candidates. None of the 19 that does not have my telephone number. I beg to say that. The thing is about where can you point to, what can you do, where can you stand on, who can listen to you? That is the truth. It is a very simple thing. When I have like minds in the Senate, Nigeria will listen to. Cross River State must be heard. Cross River State must be heard.
Okay. All right. So
something went wrong. By the time you find out why Cross River State Bassey was subsidized, there is cross Riverians who are implicated in it.
Okay, so you don't believe that is a closed chapter?
No, it's not a closed thing. Look, right. Let me tell you something. I don't want to leak this expo to whoever is a governor. As a governor, I will get those words back. As a senator, I will fight for them. But whoever is the governor, I will tell him what can be done. You can get those things back.
Okay.
What did the former governor in Akwa Ibom did? Did he brought Israeli soldiers to fight for it? He fought for it. It is possible. It is possible.
All right. Dr. Samuel, please, if you can just give me your response to that in 1-2 minutes. We're winding down the conversation now.
You're not calling me to give you that in 1 minute. There are processes to there are processes to retrieving the lost oil wells, and I think intellectually speaking, and then when we need to have a conversation, we need to put all our acts together. We need to meet the people, have conversation with people that matter, and see how that can be reversed. Don't forget, this was a court decision, and we have to go to court again. But I can tell you quite frankly that as a senator, in fact, that has been some of the things I've been talking about. I talk about how we can get back our oil wells through any means, but not by through fighting. We will get them. You also have to know that we have been cheated. Let me tell you, of all the original 12 provinces in Nigeria, only Calabar and Ogoja are sharing one state. Only Calabar and Ogoja are sharing one state. All other provinces that had the same statuses with Calabar and Ogoja, they are state capital. Even up to Abakaliki, that was under Ogoja, is now a state capital, Ebonyi. Whereas Ogoja and Calabar, they are still sharing this thing. These are the things I'm going to fight. Get back our oil wells. Give us another state in Cross River State. How many local governments do we have in Cross River State? Just 18. And some states are having 36, 38. These are some of the issues. The oil wells, there's another state in Cross River State. And then, of course, we look at delineation of constituencies and all that. How can you imagine that the Yako local government, as big as it is, has one local government? Yako, one local government. Bahumunu and Abi people, Agbo people, they are sharing one local government. Look at Boki, as big as Boki it is. It's just one local government. Then go up north, go to some places and see small areas that constitute local government. We need about 30 local governments in Cross River State, if not up to 40. And those are the things any senator will have to fight for. It's not just to go there and share money in the Senate or look at constituency projects. What are you going to bring to your people? The oil wells have to come back, number one. Number two, we need another state in Cross River State. Ogoja ought to have its own state. Calabar ought to have its own state. Then we also have to have more local government delineated. Those are the things we are going to look into. But to answer the question just briefly,
I think you've already answered it.
I will fight with my last blood to ensure that processes, legal processes, genuine processes, peaceful processes are engaged to get back our oil wells. If not so, there are other means of getting this oil. There is what we call associated and non-associated gas. Nigeria is a gas country, and we have non-associated gas in Cross River State. We can explore them. We are going, the world is leaving oil, leaving fossil oil. We can leverage on our capacities and make sure that the new form of energy can be explored. 76 oil wells, we can't kill ourselves because of them forever. If we don't get them, we have to look at something else, but we will fight.
Okay.
We are going to give it a good fight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, David Etim, please, I see your hand raised. Please, if you can put your question across very briefly, because I'm conscious of the fact that we just have about 6 minutes to go.
Thank you very much. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is David Etim. I'm the Deputy President of the Calabar Chamber of Commerce. I have listened to both candidates speak most effervescently, but my biggest worry is the issue of structured development, speaking from the private sector point of view. Now, historically, we have in Cross River State where government comes, one administration comes, they jettison what the other one did, another one comes, jettisons what the other one did, and from private sector point of view, that doesn't go very well. Now, there is a document that was created by this administration called the Calabar, the Cross River State Growth Development Strategy. I don't know whether any of the candidates have come across that document. Now, it's a document that is very holistic, very robust in its preparation. And speaking from the point of view of senators, of prospective senators of Cross River State, with specific focus on the central senatorial district, what would be your approach to structured development in such a way that you are a senator, you are not an executive member, you are a legislator, working with whoever is your governor to be able to bring structured development into Cross River State in a way that will be sustainable and enduring, so that even if you do, I know senators don't have a term limit, as it were, I think, but even if whatever length of time you do, you will be able to ensure that there's consistent and steady and sustainable structured development in the state as a whole, but with specific focus on your central senatorial district, please. Could you just address me on that? Thank you.
Okay.
I don't know if I was clear.
I will ask Chief of Commissioner, please, to go ahead with that.
Okay. My dear brother, that is the best question I have today. What is our problem is that when you put up a project and the project costs 500 million naira, and you go to the budget and you have 100 million naira, you pay for it, that project will never be completed, because the next government that come in will spend 50 million. Meanwhile, then the next government that will come in will have to do review of the contract. What I would do, and I will stand by my feet, is that if I want Agbokum Waterfall to be developed, and I have sent experts to Agbokum Waterfall or to a reform lake in Abi, in Nismotom, what I have to do is to make sure that that money for that budget, if it is 500 million naira, is approved once and the contract is given. But the contractor must be ready to go to prison if he does not do the job. The problem we have is that when you put 500 million naira project and then they give you 100 million, you are done with it. The contractor takes 10 million. When will that project be completed, for God's sake? If you put a project, make sure that and every project you put that require funding, publish it in your senatorial district. Fight for the money. If the 3 senators from the 3 senatorial districts comes together and said, look, this year we want to put a project like this that will be situated in Calabar. The 3 of you make sure that that money is put in the budget and is approved. Have approvals they are given to project. That's why most projects are not being done, are being abandoned. And another government will come and abandon it, another government will come and abandon it. That is the truth.
Okay, thank you, sir. So let me ask Dr. Samuel now, please, if you can give us your response to that question.
Structured, see, to have a well-structured project, you have to look at 2, 3 indices, 3 things. The first thing is steady flow of income. How does a state ensure that there is steady flow of finances into the state to enable you sustain a steady project regime? Is very, very, very important. That means you have to work outside the box, to look outside the box. What is the revenue generation profile in cross-river states? How much are we generating? Pillars have to be put to the extent that we should be able to have steady flow of income, revenue generation, not the one that gets into the people's pocket. Number 3 is the establishment of an effective monitoring and evaluation system, M&A, with key performance indicators. I don't think that exists. So even if you're in government or you're not in government, you have to work with the government in power to make sure that there is an effective M&E. There's no M&E. What we have in Cross River State, or what we have in Nigeria principally, is just project supervision and project inspection. We don't have monitoring and evaluation, real monitoring and evaluation, professional monitoring and evaluation. We don't even have it. With key performance indicators, that's the KPIs. When we get those things in place, the structure that my brother had just spoken about will exist. Is something that is worked on as an expert and an expert condition. We need to sit down together to look at these 3 things that will get the structure well. That is steady flow of income, working outside the box, and effective monitoring and evaluation, and key performance indicators. That's all I can say.
Okay, all right. Thank you very, very much. I would have loved to give each of the candidates 1 minute for closing remarks. I don't know if, okay, I'll go ahead and do that. So let me invite Chief of Commission, so please, if you can just give us closing remarks in 1 minute before we take announcements and bring the session to a close.
Okay, first and foremost, I want to thank you for having the idea of this platform. God bless you. And not only you, I want to thank every member of your team that had made it possible. It's first of its kind. God bless you. Please keep it up. Don't stop at the Central Senatorial District. Go to the rest senatorial districts. And even if possible, bring in the members of the House of Representatives to get into this platform.
All right.
Thank you. God bless you once again.
Thank
And
you.
to all cross-seminarians, vote for me. I am the best. I am your own. I will do your will. You will use my eyes to see. You will use my mouth to speak. God bless you all. Happy Christmas in
Thank you.
advance.
Okay, so over to you, Dr. Samuel, please.
Well, I like to thank you very much for hosting this wonderful platform, and to quickly say that among the four of us, I'm the best. I have the capacity, I have the training, I have the education, I have the experience. I have built bridges over the years because of my work globally. I've worked with 38 multilateral and bilateral NGOs around the world. I'm still working with them. They are there for me. They are waiting for me to come in. Cross River State Central should leverage on my experience, should leverage on what I have. I'm not mentioning what they all know. The other three of them know that I'm better than them all. The only thing they may have more than me is like my party or commission say, get money past me, but I never see the money. No car where I drive, where I never drive. So, but on a serious note, this is a serious business. I'm the best among them. They know themselves, all of them. You put us on real interface, face to face, physically. Let us show what we have. They know say they know reach me. So cross immigrants, it's not to come and talk with me and not a lie. I am the right person. I've been there. I have done so many things that people are not, don't even know. We don't need to shout. So vote for me. If you want the right representation in the Senate, vote for Dr. Sameno. I have the capacity. I have the experience. I have the education. I have everything. And I have God above all. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Eno. Honestly, this has been, I think, by far the most interesting interactive session that we've had, and this is no disrespect to previous candidates, but I would go so far as to say that both of you gentlemen are huge assets to Cross River State, and regardless of whether, I wish both of you the very best. But I would say that even if you happen for whatever reason not to win, I think that Cross River State will still benefit from your experience, your wisdom, and trust that you will continue to work towards a better Cross River State. So we, as the Cross River movement, will engage with you, in order to help improve governance in the state. Thank you so much. I'm going to hand over to Mrs. Didion Ebigwai to give us some announcements before we bring the session to a close. Didion, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mrs. Didion Ebigwai, the executive assistant to the founder, and I'm particularly excited about this session today and very thankful to the candidates who made themselves available. And I'm also very grateful for your enthusiasm regarding these sessions, and thank you for all of the ideas and your agenda that you have shared. So for an announcement, would like to welcome everyone to the Cross River Movement. The Cross River Movement is a non-governmental, non-partisan, and not-for-profit organization that is working to improve governance in Cross River State. And you can find out more about us on our website at www.crossrivermove.com. And also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Cross River Move. Our next interactive session will be held on Sunday, 8th January 2023. And of course, we'll be featuring candidates from the Northern Senatorial. Previous session was with candidate from the Southern Senatorial District. And you can find videos, past videos of the sessions we've had, both with governorship candidates and other senatorial candidates on our YouTube channel at Cross River Move as well. Thank you so much for being here with us, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Have a good night.
Didier, thank you very much for that. And thank you so much to the two candidates that joined us. We really appreciate. And I know that Chief of Commission had some reservations at the beginning, but I'm sure that he's delighted that he stayed through to the end. So thank you very much. You've done this not for us, but for the people of Cross River State, and I'm sure that they appreciate it. And on behalf of the Cross River Movement, I'd like to wish both of you the very best in your campaigns. And we wish you the best also when the elections come. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.